Hey guys, we've got a follow-on video in the Excel series that focuses on data visualization. Data visualization is the idea that we are visualizing our data in a graphical format that makes it very easy to comprehend. For example, looking at the grades and the points earned on this screen, you can see it's very hard to understand exactly how well each student's doing. It's very difficult to see how many people are making an A relative to how many people are making a B, and so on. So what we'd like to do is use some sort of visual representation of the data that readily conveys this information to us. The easiest way to do that is with an Excel chart. Charts are used to visualize the data found in the spreadsheet. Before we begin, though, I'd like to give you a little terminology. In the example we're about to use, we're going to break up our grades into ranges. Each range represents a letter grade in the class. 90 or above is an A, 80 to 90 is a B, and so on. Each of these ranges is referred to as a bin. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight each of these grades that we'd like to include in the chart. We're going to go to the Insert tab and insert a chart that represents each of these grades broken out into a bin range. The type of chart that divides data up into bins is called a histogram. So if we click on the histogram, you'll see it's got an example of it being divided into 4 bin ranges, which is not exactly what we want, but it's a start. So we're going to go ahead and insert that chart into our spreadsheet. And now we have a histogram that shows us how many students, in this case 19, fall in the 81 to 101 range, how many students, in this case 7, fall in the 61 to 81 range, and so on. Now this is not exactly what we want, but it's close enough and we can work with it. So a couple of features you should understand is we have the horizontal axis of the chart. We have the vertical axis. The horizontal is each of the bin range. The vertical is the number of students who fall into that bin range. So it looks like we need to change each of the bins. So we're going to double click on the horizontal axis, which brings us this format option that comes out from the side. So I'm going to move this over a little larger so you can see what it's doing. We have several options for the bins, one of which is the size of the bins. Right now it's going automatic. We'd like to change that to a specific bin width. And if you take a moment and think about it, each bin in a letter grade system is worth 10%, which is 0.1. So that 10% change will break it up into 21 to 31, 31 to 41, and so on. So we're closer, but not there yet. The next thing we'd like to do is take every value that's 90 or 100 and make it the uppermost bin. That's called an overflow bin. If we check that off and change this to 0.9, now every value that is 0.9 or higher will fall into the last bin. We'd like to do the same with the underflow bin, which is going to represent the F's in the class. So anything that is below 0.6 or 60% will fall into the last F bin. So here we go. We have a chart that represents every grade 90 or above, 80 to 90, 70 to 80, 60 to 70, and finally below or equal to 60. In this case, we've got the A's, the B's, the C's, the D's, and the F's. So this is a quick way to visualize the numeric data we have in our spreadsheet in a way that quickly tells us the majority of the students are making A's in the class, 13 to be exact. We've got another large group of students making B's and a smaller group making C's, and then finally a few stragglers down in the F category. So this has been a very simple introduction on how to insert charts. One of the things about data visualization is that you have to figure out exactly how you want to represent the data, the raw numbers, visually through a chart. And then once you understand how it should be visualized, you can go back and select an appropriate chart type. So if I go back to the Insert tab and go back to Charts, you'll see if I go back to the Insert tab and I go back to this area of charts, you can see that they have any number of charts. They have column or bar charts, they have hierarchy charts, they have waterfall, funnel, and so on. They have line charts, they have scatter plots, and so on. Once you know the type of chart that you'd like to insert, then you can come highlight the data you want included in the chart, insert the chart, and then format it how you'd like.